A full-on goddamn piece of music, isn't it? Anyway. Hello. Time to start episode 3, case 3, whatever. What shall we make today, kids?
Samson
And Judy's Bake and Ball.
Only voices. Macaroons, waffles with cream, chiffon cakes, and a lightest dream. Laugh and sing, smile it's true, all that sweetness waiting for you. Up there, where, over there, the oven's got something special to share. Now let's see what we've got for you. It's cooking time. Are you ready to make something good together? Show together? Whatever. Wow, talk about a blast from the past. Hey, Gregory. I'm going back there tomorrow with your boy. I'm finally going to find out what happened 18 years ago. Well, Fender, are you finally going to tell me what we're doing here? Why have you brought me to an art gallery of all places? Hey, you had nothing going on. Seemed like the perfect chance to come and enjoy the magic of star sign stuff together. I'm leaving. Chill, big guy. I'm just joking. You know about the pt7 incident, yeah? Your old man's last case? Of course. Von Karma took great pleasure in showing me the files as soon as I became a prosecutor. And I reviewed them again last night after your invite, see? I was also present at the trial all those years ago, though my memories of it are somewhat hazy. As a child, I was completely in awe of my father. The sight of him in court was inspirational. Gregory Edgeworth, attorney at law, and opposite him, the man who would have become my mentor, Manfred von Karma. It was quite a case. However, it ended with the conviction of the accused. Ah, so you were there too. You were in the courtroom for Gregory's final out. Well, that'll make explaining things easier. I won't need you to know something, see? That something being what really went down. Not the truth in those files, but the capital T truth. It was 18 years ago, smack dab in the middle of a real doozy of a winter. The buildings were covered with a blanket of snow. It looked like the streets were lined with popsicles. But things weren't so innocent behind those frozen doors. In fact, some pretty sordid stuff went down. This was back before yours truly was the fine figure of an attorney you see before you today. Flashback episode. 18 years ago. Hey, mystery! This one really came out of the blue, huh? It did. Well, we were called in before the ink on the arrest papers were even dry. My name is Gregory Edgeworth. I'm a defense attorney. I'm here visiting a client with my assistant Eddie Fender. Murder on Christmas Eve? What's the world coming to? In the dark of the night, at the end of the day, I see two timely saviors are coming my way. Welcome, my friends, to the visitor's room. And if we're not friends yet, I'm sure we will be soon. Whoa, talk about an entrance. I was not expecting that. Neither was I. Sorry if I surprised you. I'm just so happy to see you. Thanks so much for coming out. Seriously, I can't thank you enough. You're the accused, I take it. I am. Gregory Edgeworth, attorney at law at your service. I look forward to representing you. This is my assistant, Eddie Fender. Pleased to meet you, sir. I'll do, everything I can to help. Come now, Edward. Calm down, please. You'll have to forgive him. He's still new to this. He's been helping me out part-time, but he is far from full-fledged lawyer material yet. Nonetheless, I'm hoping he'll be of some assistance in investigating the particulars of this case. Gregory and Eddie, it's an honor to meet you both. My job as a defense attorney is to save my clients from wrongful convictions. So the first thing to do is establish whether or not he is truly innocent. Perhaps we could begin by having you tell us a little about yourself. What am I thinking? I haven't even told you my name. I'm Samson Tangaroa. Tangaroa. I'm Samson Tangaroa. What? It really is you. Samson Tangaroa, the world's greatest confectioner. You flatter me, my young friend. And call me Samson. All my pals do. Whoa, thanks, Samson. I will. Can't believe I'm meeting you in person. It seems Eddie knows something of our client. Mr. E, it's the Samson Tangara, a singing, dancing, confectionery making sensation. What shall we make today, kids? Macaroons, waffles with cream, chiffon cakes that are light as a dream. Laugh and sing, smile, it's true. All that sweetness waiting for you. Look there. Where? Over there. The oven's got something special to share. Ping! Now let's see what we've got for you. I almost started dancing along. No way! I got to sing with Samson Tangara. This is a dream come true. Thanks, little pal. Means a lot to hear you say that. My apologies, but I think we need to discuss the matter at hand. Of course, I'm sure you're both very busy. Alright, where would you like me to start? So, you're not just a confectioner, but also a singer and a dancer. I sure am. When I'm having fun, my body just starts moving. You must really enjoy making desserts. Wouldn't be much of a confectioner if I didn't. I love to make sweets that will bring joy to others. Hey, they're not just things, they're works of art. Sparkling, dazzling, mouth-watering creations, the stuff that dreams are made of. So he aims to create joyous and inspirational pieces, does he? I understand that the incident in question happened at your mansion. It did. We were holding an international confectionery contest there when a body was found inside one of my creations. Inside one of your... No way! The detective in charge placed me under arrest because of it, and now here I am. But I could never take her life. Never. I'm sure the police will see that too in time. They'll realize their mistake. I sure hope so. And what can you tell us about the victim? Her name is Arete Frost. Name was Arete Frost. He was taking part in the contest. Mr. Frost was a wonderful confectioner. His creations were things of real beauty. I just don't understand. Why did he have to die? I'm sorry. He seems genuinely upset over the victim's death. I think I have a pretty good measure of the man now. Mr. Tangerel, there's just one last thing I need to confirm with you. You didn't kill Mr. Frost, correct? Correct. I swear to you I didn't do it. Like I told you, I could never take a life. Never. He seems quite sincere. Alright, I'm going to take you at your word. Thank you for being so forthright with me. Likewise. It's good to talk to somebody other than those detectives. We'll head to the scene of the crime and see what we can learn. We'll be in touch when we have something more to tell you. Goodbye, Gregory. Goodbye, Eddie. I'm counting on you both. It's pretty cold out there, huh, Mr. E? I never saw so much snow. Yes, and it doesn't seem like it will be letting up anytime soon. Just look at this place. What a sweet house Samson's got. It's huge. Yes, big enough to hold an international confectionery contest, no less. Welcome, welcome, everyone. Come on in, we'll have us some fun. Oh no. Are you alright? I'm sorry. Would you happen to be Mr. Gregory Edgeworth by any chance? I would. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Eddie Fender, Mr. Edgeworth's assistant. Mr. Edgeworth, Mr. Fender, welcome to our humble abode. Duty bound. It's an honor to meet you both. I'm the housekeeper here, and Mr. Tangeroa's assistant. You're no housekeeper, you're duty bound. Nah. You're no housekeeper, you're duty bound. The duty bound. You know a little something of my work? A little. I watch you on TV every chance I get. I'm Bacon Bob's biggest fan. It's very kind of you to say so. We'd be nothing without our fans. And what might Bacon Bob be? It's only the biggest show on TV. Every kid on the planet loves it. Dynamic duo Samson and Judy make delicious sweet stuff, all while singing and dancing. Like this, check it out. What shall we make today, kids? Cookie dough, caramel too, fluffy show cream, tiramisu. Everyone, come along, baking treats with a smile and a song. Fucking ain't auto attacks. You can treat a smiling song. There, who? Where, who? There, it's true. The oven's got something special for you. You just take a bite and you will see. There's a wonderful performer. There. That was a wonderful performance, Mr. Fender. Bravo. Yeah. I dance along every time I watch the show. Perhaps Miles might enjoy it too. I'll suggest it later. But all this dancing really takes it out of a guy. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm the world's worst hostess. Yeah, nothing relaxes the body and mind quite like a cup of tea. Ah, this is Shalon, correct? It's delicious. Its citrus aroma is said to improve one's ability to concentrate, as I recall. Interesting. So this is what Shalon tea tastes like, huh? Definitely pronounced that wrong. How odd. The sauce is cold. Yes, it's so that the tea cools down more quickly. I'm afraid some of our guests don't like it too hot. I see. These teacups are very unique too. The design is really something. You think so? Thank you so much. I ordered them all the way from France. They're my absolute favorite. They were designed by a marvelous sculptor named Paul Hallequy. Have you heard of him? Makes the most amazing tableware in the world. I'm clearly a big fan of his work.
Oh, I am. These teacups are my greatest treasure.
He's certainly not afraid to show when she's passionate about something. If you don't mind, Miss Pound, I'd like to move on to the reason we're here. Can you tell us everything you know about the unfortunate incident that occurred earlier?
Of course. I'm sorry for getting so distracted. Guess I'm still in shock. Because I'm the one who found the body, you see.
You discovered the victim? Is it true that the body was recovered from inside one of Mr. Tangaroa's creations?
It is. We were in the middle of the contest's final judgment phase when we heard the sound of something big collapsing, coming from Samson's room. Samson, are you in there? In here? Eh. I opened the door and went inside, and there was Mr. Frost's body.
Thank you. I'm sorry to make you relive such a traumatic experience.
Think nothing of it, please. I only wish I had more to tell you.
Now, if you don't mind, Miss Pound, I'd like to begin our investigation of the crime scene.
Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, Mr. Fender, you have to save Samson. He's no murderer. You can never do something like that.
Of course.
Leave it to us, Miss Pound. Thank you so much. I'll go serve the others their tea then.
Come, Eddie, to the scene of the crime.
Yes, sir, Mr. E.
Hey. That guy.
No way. Everything in this room's made of chocolate. Even getting to see so many of Samson's creations this up close and personal.
I might be more excited myself if this room wasn't a murder scene.
Hearing you say that sends a shiver down my spine.
That might just be the temperature in here. Rather cold.
Yeah, now that you mention it, it is pretty chill.
That's you! Defense on the scene already. That was fast. Pleasure to meet you. Gregory Edgeworth. I'm representing Mr. Tangaroa. This is my assistant, Eddie Fender. Nice to meet you. Bad. Detective Tyrrell Bad. Detective in charge is named Bad. Man, a few words. Something about this just doesn't taste right. You're eating your notepad. He likes to chew over his thoughts, rather literally. I'm afraid it helps him to digest and remember them. It's a little quirk of his. Please try to ignore it. Although I'd be the first to admit that's easier said than done. With introductions out of the way, Detective Bad, would you mind if we joined you in investigating the scene? Sorry, not gonna happen. What? How come? Mr. Edgeworth is Mr. Tangaroa's attorney. Yeah, and attorneys will do anything to get him off the hook, even put words in their clients' mouths. You think I need that on my crime scene? Mr. Edgeworth would never do something like that. I don't trust attorneys, okay, kid? Detective, you established my client's supposed guilt based on an investigation of the crime scene, correct? That's usually how it works, yeah. What of it? Then extend me the same courtesy. I believe he is innocent, and I would like to the chance to prove it. You believe he is innocent, and you didn't even see the scene yet. That's some flimsy lawyering. That's exactly why I wish to see the scene for myself. I need to ensure that my belief is based on solid evidence and sound reasoning. You're about to tell me you're not leaving until I let you look over the scene. I am. Fine, knock yourselves out. Thank you, Detective. And I'm coming around with you. Like I said, I don't trust attorneys. I'm good with that. Go ahead and get to it. That was a lollipop this whole time? I must admit, I didn't see that coming either. Better get started then. I'll need you to take notes, Eddie. On it, Mr. E. Let's get this over with. Detective Bad. So, this is where the body was discovered. Yeah. They took it away already, but everything else is just how we found it. Yes, the body was inside the treasure chest. Yeah, a woman by the name of Bound found it.
Simpson, are you in here?
Seems she heard something breaking and came in to see what it was. Only we had a little more information. There's something else in here. Huh? It looks like a seal of some kind, with somebody's initials or an intricate shape carved into it.
Is it for making those fancy wax things on documents? Do you think it belonged to the victim?
No idea. But it's got to get logged anyway, so I'll take that. It's really rather impressive making an entire ship out of chocolate.
That's Simpson Tangaroa for you. Don't you want to take a big bite out of it? I want to just take a big bite out of it. There, keep remembering. Fender. Which part to bite first, though? That's the real head scratcher, you know.
Bite any part of it, kid, and you'll be off this crime scene so fast your head will spin.
Hey, it was just a joke. Stop staring at me like that.
I do sometimes wish Eddie could keep his cool a little better. One of the stands for the ship is broken.
The ship must have collapsed onto the treasure chest and smashed it open. Wait, do you think? Could that be how the victim died? Was he crushed by the ship?
If he was, this becomes an accidental death, and not a murder. You too serious. Don't worry, Detective. For the moment, we're simply discussing a possibility.
I was being serious, though.
Detective, can you tell us a little more about the state of the victim's body? Let me see. Got a picture here someplace. You can see for yourselves. Death was from blunt force trauma. And what about the weapon? Has it been found yet? You can ask the prosecutor in charge about that. The detective's not on for sharing much, I see. Would you mind if we borrowed this? No skin off my nose. It's not like it's official. Down took it with an instant camera when she found the body.
An instant camera? Like it's disposable or something?
No, it means that it develops the pictures right there and then when you take them.
No way. Sounds pretty convenient.
Now then, I'd better get my facts straight and take down some notes of my own. There's something in this picture that contradicts with the current crime scene. I need to call on my powers of deduction to figure out why. It's titled Voyage of the Red Rover. After sailing the seven seas, the legendary ship happens upon a great treasure at last. This piece is a tribute to the adventurous spirit of our ancestors. Oh no. And they sailed 6 whole seas before they found anything. Not exactly the luckiest crew out there. Sometimes you gotta take a bunch of wrong turns before you find the truth. That's what being a real detective is all about. Did they even have detectives back in those days? The Red Rover and the Crimson Tide. Looks like this is the title. Title is the inspiration for everything in the display in this room. Ship and the treasure chest, of course, but also all the other nautical objects on display. Certainly a subtle, suitably grand theme with which to showcase Mr. Tangora's talents. There's a fine selection of nautical paraphernalia. You think one of them could be the murder weapon? No, they're all made out of chocolate. You'd have a hard time bludgeoning somebody to death with one of them. Can't tell what's real in here. really do look genuine. I can hardly tell the difference myself. Oh, it's warm, sir. The stream in each room flows into the main fountain, and then the water is circulated back to the rooms. Unusual, to say the least. I've never seen a house quite like this one. Rich folks, they're all crazy. How's it looking over here, officer? Nothing of interest in that cupboard, or...? Yes, sir. So there is? Or, no, there isn't. Just a blowtorch used for cooking and some tableware, sir. You heard the man, Mr. Attorney. Nothing to add, am I right? No. So, you do have something to add? Oh, no. Can't get a straight answer out of anybody. Perhaps you should ask a straight question. Hell, you are suspicious. Gloves. Tangaroa wore them when he was working on his masterpiece over there. You're conveniently good at hiding fingerprints too. I suppose it's possible to employ them in such a manner. But is it really all that suspicious to find a pair of gloves in a kitchen like this? I'm a detective. Everything's suspicious. That's the job. There's some very tasteful tableware here, along with some kitchen utensils. This tea set is the same design as the one Miss Bound served us with earlier.
You think Samson could have been drinking tea out of that?
That pot and cup were dusted for prints. These were the only ones they found. And was that the case for the utensils too? Everything else had been washed, so there weren't any prints to find. And if Mr. Tangaroa was wearing gloves while he was working on his confectionaries, that could explain why prints were only found on the teapot and cup. A well-equipped kitchen, as one might expect. Sadly, it doesn't look like there's much to be found in the way of clues. Nothing of interest in the fridge either. We checked. And you are? Sorry. Meditating. Did you want something, detective? Oh, I'm an attorney, not a detective. Gregory Edgeworth. Pleasure to meet you.
I'm his assistant, Eddie Fender.
I see. Name's Caramel Augusto. I'm a confectioner here for the contest.
Yeah? What's your specialty, Mr. Gusto?
The art of air and sugar.
No way! Look at that! It's a little baby seahorse.
It's a dragon, a noble soaring creature of the sky.
It's a dragon?
Does look more aquatic than airborne. No need to sugarcoat it. My design sense is weak. I know that better than anyone. That's why I'm heading to Shangfa when this is all over. Need to train hard. Perhaps we should get off the subject of his design sense for now. Oh, what are you doing in here, Mr. Gusto? I didn't think they were allowing civilians on the scene yet. The detective wanted to know more about one of the pieces in here. Makes sense, seeing as he's a contestant. Perhaps I should ask him a few questions of my own. Those are some interesting implements you use, Mr. Gusto. Sugar blowing pumps. They put air into the sugar.
Oh, that's so cool. It's like watching a sword master do his thing.
I'm no master. Not a day goes by that I don't hurt myself one way or another. That's why I wear red. That way it doesn't matter when I make a mess. The way of the confectioner is a lonely one. You never stop learning, not until you die. The way of the confectioner sounds like a long one too, if he's still injuring himself on a daily basis. What can you tell us about the contest? Based on what we've seen so far, flavour doesn't seem to be the only criteria at play. The contest was Tangaroa's idea. It's about art. Confectionery is art.
Confectionery as art.
Art you can eat. Every part of it. Every single item in this room is edible.
The whole place does kind of smell like chocolate.
Tangaroa is a genius. A once-in-a-generation talent. Flavour and flair. He has it all. And if you can't outdo the god of confections himself, you can't win.
I don't know, man. Beating out the greatest in the world seems kind of hard, yeah?
As it should be. Whoever beats him becomes the greatest in turn. That's the real prize here. Nothing else matters. So you're competing for a title, effectively. And a treasure. The ultimate cookbook. Tangaroa's most prized possession. If you want to know more, it's all written down here. It's the list of rules that was given out to the contestants. Sorry, I don't know much about what happened. I only heard about it after the judging was over. How was the judging organised? It started at 3 PM. Tangaroa began making the rounds right around then. He left his own room, then worked his way around the venue clockwise. My creations were the first to be judged. After that, he went to Scone's room. He's another one of the contestants. What can you tell us about her? Ruthless, brutal. There's nothing she wouldn't do to win. He was working with Cream, some kind of dreamscape. Then last of all, Frost Room. This thing was flavoured ice. Sculptures this time, or so I heard. Bound found the body while Tangaroa was still making the rounds. She panicked, run to call the cops. Tangaroa went right on judging, claims he didn't know a thing about it until afterwards. Went ahead and looked over the victim's work, even though the guy was nowhere to be seen. Pretty suspicious behavior in anyone's book. Don't have enough information to challenge him on that yet. By the way, Detective Bad, what were you and Mr. Gusto talking about earlier? I was going to ask about the piece on the wall here, the one in the frame. It seemed like something was off. Thought I'd better ask somebody who knows about this stuff. And you bozos showed up and pulled me away from my very important work. Perhaps we can take a closer look at it together. Can't take a hint, can you? Mr. Gusto, would you mind helping us out? Of course. Confectionery is my life. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you. That's very kind of you. That fucking ass handprint there. Looks like a fire alarm. Yeah, and before you start prodding it, it's not made of chocolate. Push it and bells will start ringing. People will come running from the security room. A whole bunch of hassle, so don't. I know you want to, but don't. Honestly, the thought hadn't even crossed my mind. Typical attorney. does being an attorney have to do with anything? Candelabra, made of chocolate. There's a title here, The Light of Life. Well, this particular light seems to be missing one of its life-giving flames. Does it have some sort of symbolic meaning, or could it be... It's a journal belonging to the captain of the chocolate ship, also made of chocolate. Diary of Despair, that's some title. Come, hearken, see how we crossed the sea and rode the red tide to misery. Quite a jaunty rhyme for such a tragic-sounding tale. This must be the title of this picture.
Angel Beast by Thorns. That's pretty mysterious. Really gets you thinking, huh? I think I'm a fan.
Yeah, good taste. I'm especially fond of it myself. Simply captivating.
Mr. Edgeworth, Mr. Guster praised me.
Now, Eddie, don't make this into a thorny issue by bragging about it. You have bad taste.
Was that a dad joke, Mr. Edgeworth? I better make note of this momentous occasion.
Where did I make a joke, dad or otherwise?
Who knew you could make a picture this pretty out of chocolate? Samson really is a god among men.
Is it really made of chocolate, though? It looks far too much like a regular illustration to me. You have a good eye. I'm impressed. That's no piece of candy. That's the ultimate cookbook. The ultimate cookbook? In other words, the grand prize.
What? So it's not made of chocolate after all?
No, the book is simply enframed in some. Tangaroa showed it to all of us when he gathered us here to explain the rules. So the participants knew that the grand prize was in this room the whole time. Anyway, you see it too, right? In the frame, something's missing. Ah, the oddity Detective Bad was going to ask Mr. Gusto about earlier, yes. You're right, Detective, something is missing from this frame. So it's not just me.
What's missing?
I better show Eddie which part of the frame is missing some chocolate.
Take that!
Look at the decorative work in the corner here. Something's missing, no?
Oh, yeah. It's different from the other side.
That's not like Tangaroa. The balancing is all wrong. But that's not all. Take a look around. Every confectionery in this room is missing some small bits.
You're right. The candle holder, the nautical stuff, they're all like that. Somebody deliberately damaged them?
That's a very good question. Or did Tangaroa just want it to look like somebody messed with his work?
Never do that to his own creations. Never.
Would this have some deeper meaning for the case? I must scour the scene and inspect anything that catches my attention. The picture is not made of chocolate, it's the cover of a book, the ultimate cookbook. And the ultimate cookbook, in other words, the grand prize. Yes, enframed in chocolate. Tangaroa showed it to all of us when he gathered us here to explain the rules. And the participants knew that the grand prize was in this room the whole time. Why is that again? Fine, whatever. Whatever. These finger marks? Yeah, but we don't know whose yet. Still haven't figured it out. No fingerprints, no IDs. Finger marks without prints. They could certainly be important to the case.
It's a real head scratcher, alright.
Not really. I'm guessing whoever it was wore gloves.
Oh, where's your sense of romance or adventure?
There doesn't tend to be much of either at a crime scene, Eddie.
It's you!
Are you alright, Eddie?
Yeah, but it sure is chilly in here.
Yes, it wasn't exactly warm out in the fountain room either. It's even colder in here. Would you like to borrow my jacket?
No, I'm fine. Besides, you said you'd give it to me when I finally got my attorney's badge.
I did, didn't I? Why do they have the heat down so low? Chocolate needs to be kept at the right temperature. Take a look behind that panel on the wall. What panel?
Look at that! It was here this whole time!
There's one in each of the room. There's one in each of the contestants' rooms. Tangaroa hid them so they wouldn't spoil the aesthetic of our works. And what do the controls do? They adjust the temperature and the lighting. Goes all the way down to minus 22 degrees Fahrenheit, cold enough to keep any confectionery from melting. So, in effect, each room is a giant freezer.
It's 59 degrees in here. No wonder I'm cold. Hey, Detective Bad, you mind if we turn it up a little?
Preservation of the crime scene is the foundation of detective work.
But I'm not a detective.
The same goes for attorneys, Eddie. We must never disturb the scene of the crime. Get used to the cold. It's all part of your training. Chocolate needs to be kept between 59 and 65 degrees. There's no way around it. You know the temperature by heart, huh? Guess it's your job. At the very least, I should know. Voice keeps changing. Any real confectioner should be able to tell you that and more. Alright, what about lollipops and cream? If it's not too hot or too humid, a lollipop should be fine just about anywhere. Cream needs to be kept around 50 degrees. Need to watch out for heat and humidity, huh? Duly noted.
Detective Bad kind of brightened up when he was talking about lollipops, didn't he? Detective Bad kind of brightened up when he was talking about lollipops, didn't he?
Keep dropping the accent. I suppose he must be very fond of them. Don't believe there is any more to be found here. These controls can be used to adjust the room's temperature and lighting.
Red, yellow, green, dark blue, light blue, white. That's a huge range.
Temperature is set to 59 degrees. Light's color set to white. And the pieces in here are made of chocolate, that's why. White light makes them look better. Mr. Tangaroa must see the room itself as a part of his carefully crafted creations. The stand broke and the ship collapsed with it, and the loud sound it made brought Miss Pound running. Yeah, said the ship had already keeled over by the time she got in here. But why did the stand collapse? What caused it to break? Maybe the whole thing was off balance from the get-go. Could that really have been the case? All of Mr. Tangaroa's creations are missing a little piece each, including one of the stands that was holding up the ship. Somebody really went all out.
Do you think it could have been the killer?
Certainly a possibility. Either way, I think we can safely say the stand was damaged in our mystery person's tampering spree. And when it broke, the ship When it broke, the ship fell and smashed open the treasure chest, which would have remained closed otherwise.
Real crime scene. This is so exciting.
This isn't a game, Eddie. I need you to take it seriously.
Don't worry, Mystery. I'm taking notes on everything.
You are? What kind of notes?
Notes about how all this delicious stuff is made. Can't wait to try it for myself.
I'm not playing around, Edward. Take this seriously.
Yes, Mr. Edgeworth.
Do I just put together... Not for astrology. Oh, there's obviously still something here. Everything was freaking ticked, so... means I have to do something. You said the only thing that's been removed from the scene is the body. Yeah. That and the piece of cloth that it was wrapped in. And something here doesn't quite add up. It doesn't? Take another look at the scene in front of us, Detective. A very conspicuous pool of blood that should be here is clearly missing. You're right. Don't remember anybody mentioning they'd removed the blood along with the body. Let me check with forensics.
What is it, Mystery? What did you figure out?
Compare the treasure chest in the photograph to the real thing. In the picture, the solid chocolate bottom continues underneath the deceased head. And yet, that part of the chest is now gone.
Part with blood all over it.
Exactly. So did the police remove it, or perhaps the killer? It wasn't forensics. They're saying nobody took anything like that away. Interesting. So somebody deliberately removed the blood from the scene. Obey. I think we're about done here for now. If I wasn't convinced before, I am now. Tangaroa did it. No two ways about it.
What do you mean?
All the rooms in this place lock from the inside. And the only way to unlock them from the outside is with this key. I see. And who had access to that key? Who do you think? Tangaroa. And it's the only one. There aren't any copies. I see an immediate flaw with your suspicion, Bad. With the mansion key, Tangaroa could slip into anybody else's room at any time he liked. And he could even lock his own room from the outside if he wanted. But Mr. Tangaroa's room wasn't locked, was it? Nope, which is exactly what makes him a suspect. Would you care to explain your thinking? If the door had been locked when the body was found, Tangaroa would have been the obvious suspect, which is why he deliberately didn't lock his room, and why he smashed in the lid of the treasure chest so the body was on full display. Everyone's supposed to gather in his room when the judging finished up, so he made it look like the murder happened while he wasn't there. The one thing he didn't plan on was Bound finding the body. Anyway, that's my thinking on this whole thing. Good enough for you, Mr. Attorney? Do you also believe that it was Mr. Tangaroa who damaged the other pieces in its room? Yep. I know you have to believe your client. That's your job. But I'm a detective, and I serve the law. And no matter how squeaky clean somebody might seem, a suspect is still a suspect. I fully understand your reasoning, Detective. Now, would you mind if I applied a little critical thinking of my own? Do your worst. Just as the detective won't compromise his devotion to the law, I won't compromise my beliefs either. I'm not about to just accept his version of events. In fact, I'm going to show him the piece of evidence that highlights the contradiction in his claims.
Hold it!
That's hardly solid grounds on which to base your suspicion of Mr. Tangaroa, Detective. And that's hardly solid grounds to start shouting objections left and right on, Mr. Attorney. Maybe quit interrupting and let me finish.
Hold it!
And why would he deliberately not lock his door? Because if he'd locked it, he might as well have held up a sign saying he did it, since he had the only key.
But maybe it was just a coincidence? Maybe he just left it unlocked without meaning to.
He just happened to leave it unlocked, and somebody just happened to find a body inside. Come on, kid, you'll never make detective thinking like that.
But I don't want to be a detective, I want to be an attorney.
I'd be grateful if you'd stop trying to steal my apprentice. Look, there's a reason why Tangaroa left his door unlocked.
Hold it!
You're saying Mr. Tangaroa himself deliberately smashed the treasure chest open? Yep, if he hadn't, the body would have never been found. Struggle to see how he managed to destroy his creation while judging the contest at the same time.
Exactly. Besides, there's no way he would have disrespected his sweets. He eats every last crumb on bacon bop or dancing. That's the only way his stuff gets destroyed.
This isn't about what happens on TV, kid. You know about Bacon Bop, Detective?
Am I the only one who isn't familiar with this show? Wow, never would have guessed. Can you sing the theme song too?
Never mind that now. Focus. The point is this. Tangaroa was responsible for breaking that lid.
Hold it!
The judging began in Mr. Gusto's room, correct? Yeah. Kinda wanted to check his hard candy stuff out myself. In that case, how about a demonstration? Well, it's you, Detective.
Are you calling him a dirty dog?
It's a wolf. A lone wolf. I like it. I'm starting to enjoy these little displays. Anyhow.
Hold it!
Do you have a clear idea of when exactly the murder took place? Not yet. Autopsy report's still pending. Yet you still went ahead and arrested Mr. Tangaroa. We may not know when the murder happened, but we know when the body was discovered. It was while Tangaroa was judging Gusto's room. The perfect alibi if he could set it up just right. Still not grounds for an arrest. Surely you have to agree with that. Do I? Especially when I've got nothing more to say to you. Why do I get the feeling he's hiding something? Detective Bad seems pretty convinced that Mr. Tangaroa is the culprit.
But there's no way he would have vandalized his own creations. No way! Still, the treasure chest did get smashed in. There's no denying that.
Perhaps we should focus more on what led to the body's discovery. Doing so should make it easier to spot the flaw in Detective Bad's theory.
Objection!
There it is, right. Okay. We've established that the body was hidden inside the chest, and that Miss Bound only came running into this room when she heard a sound. It seems reasonable to infer that the sound was that of the chocolate boat collapsing. Sure, seems likely based on the evidence. And yet, you assert that it was Mr. Tangaroa who had smashed the lid of the chest. I believe this photo makes it clear that it was the ship that did the smashing. And if that had occurred only moments before Miss Bound had entered the room, then it couldn't have been broken by Mr. Tangaroa, who was out judging the contest at that time. I never said he did it then and there. He could have done something to the stand so it collapsed when he was in the middle of judging.
Objection!
Have you any way of proving that assertion? Nope. But the investigation isn't over yet. There's still time. And he doesn't have anything conclusive. Have you found any prints in this room beside those of Mr. Tangaroa? Yep, on the door. But we found Tangaroa's and false prints on there too. We were all brought in here for a briefing right before we started work on our creations. Those prints are probably from then. I take it you haven't checked any of Mr. Tangaroa's works for prints yet. Why would? We know that somebody tampered with them. Therefore, it's possible they left some prints behind when they did so. Fine, but if we don't find anything, you guys still top of my list. Got it? You, check all of this chocolate stuff for prints, now. Yes sir, right away. Detective Bad. We finished dusting the chocolate and we found prints that don't belong to Mr. Tangaroa, sir. Go on. Whose?
Delica Scone, sir. She's one of the contestants.
Good work. You can go back to whatever you were investigating before.
Yes, sir.
So it seems we have a suspect beside Mr. Tangaroa. Even without your lawyerly input, I wasn't about to wrap up the investigation anyway. I'll go speak to Miss Scone and see what she has to say for herself. Erica Scone. Mr. Gusto mentioned her too. He said that she was ruthless, that she'd do anything to win.
This Scone lady sounds like a pretty suspicious... There. This Scone lady sounds like a pretty suspicious character, huh, Mr. E?
Yes, I think we'd better try to speak with her ourselves as well. Detective Bad, would you mind if we accompanied you? Babysitting you was not in my job.
Oh, come on.
But I guess you did pick up a couple of useful clues already. So if you want to tag along, be my guest. Thank you, Detective. You're too kind.
But Detective Bad, sir, I don't think that's such a good idea. The prosecutor is still busy in there.
It'll be fine. Me and him don't exactly see eye to eye anyhow.
Who is this him? Who did they assign to the case?
Manfred von Karma.
What? They gave it to von Karma? He hasn't lost a case in 25 years.
Manfred von Karma, a living legend over at the prosecutor's office. We've never faced one another in the courtroom, but I've heard plenty of stories. They say he'll do anything to ensure a guilty verdict. I can't let that distract me. Now I need only continue to do what I believe is right. Now, I was kind of hoping for it to be continued, because I am feeling funky. Ugh. I should continue though, I should continue, I really should, but I bow to the winds of my sick ass body. So I'm going to stop here for now and we'll continue this tomorrow. Short, but ugh. I ain't gonna risk anything. So that will be all for now. Back tomorrow with more.